So my next question is like, Amrut, I also read books, but I hardly manage to absorb the content of that books when I read randomly. Okay. But when I read
Mhm.
according to my problems, which I was facing that time, then I was able to absorb the content more easily and I can retain that book as well. So don't you think that problem-based reading will help people more than the random reading, which you ask
Mhm.
people to do random reading?
I got your question. Yeah, a very smart question. See, why I say read random always
Hmm.
is that you should not read what you like. You should read what you need.
Hmm.
And when you said that problem based reading, that means you assume that you know your problems,
Hmm.
but we
Yes.
barely know our own deficiencies,
Hmm.
our own flaws.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, if अगर ऐसा रहता तो हम लोग महात्मा और संत बन जाते,
Hmm.
right?
Correct.
And hence read random.
Okay.
So you stumble upon books. I always use the word reading habit. I never say books or reading. It's reading habit.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
means it is continuous.
Hmm.
It has to be on daily basis. And you
Hmm.
stumble upon books, on
Hmm.
relevant books, irrelevant books,
Hmm.
good books, bad
Hmm.
books. Yeah. And yes, to some extent, I agree with you.
Hmm.
No, you can no reach out to a relevant book
Hmm.
much quickly if you know your problem clearly. But many times problem nahi malum rehta. It's just
Huh.
the symptom and not
Symptoms.
the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. When we
Yeah.
when we expose to particular thing, then we able to accept that that this is my problem.
Yes. Yes. And you know what? How many years since this technology of putting the written text or the print
Hmm.
technology or
Hmm.
the language or
Hmm.
writing technology has been invented by humans.
Hmm.
कितने साल हुए अगर million, I don't know, say 1,000 years.
Hmm.
Okay, so there can't be any problem which you are facing was not faced by somebody
Hmm.
years ago,
Yes.
and he has solved it and put it down on paper.
Hmm.
Right? And you can
Ah.
reach out through random reading.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
but again, uh, as a good news for your question, problem based reading,
Hmm.
I'm not saying that you have to start no locking yourself into deep reading sessions
Hmm.
for read random. No, there are many ways where you get an idea what's there in the book without deep reading sessions.
Hmm.
Now what I do is, when do I decide that I have to read this book deeply,
Hmm.
no serious read from word to word, cover to cover.
Hmm.
I first watch his TED talks. Most of the authors come on TED
Hmm.
talk,
Correct.
or his interviews on podcast. People like you know podcasters, they take
Hmm.
interviews of great authors. Okay,
Hmm.
उनके कुछ मीडियम में आर्टिकल्स रहेंगे, कोरा में कुछ क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स रहेंगे,
Hmm.
their Facebook handles, their Instagram, LinkedIn. You get an idea. 30-40% content तो वहीं पे समझ में आ जाता है.
Huh.
And then
I
you take a
agree.
call whether this book is relevant for my problem or not.
Hmm.
You don't have to no no immediately jump and buy the book. Okay, there
Hmm.
are so many free booklet app. I
Hmm.
am here for you.
Hmm.
Almost all the best selling books I have covered. Just
Yes.
invest 20 minutes, listen to
Hmm.
my summary, and take a call.
Hmm. You mentioned about like people barely know about their weaknesses or their problems. So how you do a self analysis of yours?
Hmm. Uh, See, I keep myself exposing to different experiences of life.
Huh.
And what better can be by meeting people who may be alive or dead
Hmm.
through their writings. If
Hmm.
you decide to write a book, Saurabh, don't you think you will put all your experiences, good, bad, whatever you can give to this
Hmm.
world, you will put it on paper?
Correct.
Yes or no?
Yes, I've done that
So I
actually. I've.
I find this miraculous
Hmm.
that I can get the experience of Steve Jobs,
Hmm.
of his 20, 30 years of experience in just 3, 4 days. What better can it be?
Hmm.
I mean, I'm too blessed. We are
Hmm.
too blessed to get, or we are too lucky to get such technology.
Correct.
Yeah. If I
Yes.
want to learn something from Bill Gates,
Hmm.
can you fix an appointment with Bill Gates
No.
with me?
No.
No, but I can read his biography,
Hmm.
right? So I keep myself exposing, and when I read their biographies, I'm
Hmm.
I'm actually going through all his experiences, good, bad, his mistakes. Yeah. Of course, you learn from mistakes, but not all mistakes be your own.
Correct.
They can be other people's mistakes. Right. So this is how I do. The more you expose to all the other brains who have done a little better than you and me, yeah, you gain that confidence, yeah, and you will not make that mistakes that they had done.
Okay. So that exactly my the next question is, if we learn from our mistakes, then why we are so afraid to make a mistake again?
Huh. That's the cultural problem, not only in India, across the world.
Uh,
Now, every small child, an infant, the first mistake he makes is when he tries to walk for the first time in his life.
hmm,
Look at the behavior, the response of the parents. They never even take it as a mistake.
hmm,
Have you ever seen a child who has learned to walk without falling?
no.
Impossible. No. But when he falls down, what is the reaction of the parents? Oh, wow, wow, yes, yes, come on, I'm here. Try to come
Hmm,
here. It's okay. Look at the way they are looking at the mistake.
hmm,
But the moment the child starts growing, 2 years, 3 years, schooling, अरे 2 2 जा 4 होता है मालूम नहीं इतना ये सिखाया तुझे घर पे हाँ एप्पल में डबल पी आता है अक्कल नहीं तुझे हाँ वापस कर and gradually the child thinks that making mistake is something dangerous because of these reactions.
correct.
Okay, so the approach towards making mistakes changes, and then when he thinks that making mistakes is dangerous, he will stop taking risk.
Hmm,
Now let's try to revisit the same incidents, a child learning to walk, and let's change the reaction of the parents. Hey, अक्कल नहीं ऐसे चलते हैं तुझे पता नहीं कि वेट को ट्रांसफर करना है लेफ्ट पे फिर चलना है राइट पे. You know, it sounds so funny, right?
yes.
Why not give the same response throughout his life?
Hmm,
Yeah, mistakes, failure is an event, not a person.
correct.
Yeah, failure is an event, not a person,
Hmm,
and it is impossible to learn without mistakes.
huh,
Yeah, did Sachin hit a six on his first stroke of his life? Of course
no.
not. First time mistakes से ही सीखेंगे ना कि क्या सही करना है,
Hmm,
right? So that's the problem of our culture, and it's throughout the world. Okay,
hmm,
so it's our duty, to change this approach for the next generation
hmm,
and celebrate mistakes to make
yes.
the children and employees feel safe to make mistakes. That's the sole responsibility of a leader at
Hmm,
home or in office. To make them feel safe to make mistakes.
okay.